Hey everyone, today we're going to do just the most basic things at the command prompt to go ahead and get our command prompt ready to compile and work with C# programs. And so I'm just going to show you the fundamentals and how to set everything up. I want to draw to your attention if if you haven't worked with this before and you go to the command prompt, notice I just type in CMD at start. You actually get two options. One is the normal command prompt and one is the developer command prompt. If you work in the developer command prompt, you will notice that the C# compiler command is already recognized. Notice I just typed in a command to get help, which is /?, and because it's a recognized command, we get the help options for the compiler, so we know it's a recognized command. And I can kind of go up directories and type in the C# compiler, and it's still a recognized command. So that's kind of the benefit, or one of the benefits, of working with the developer command prompt, which is an option. However, if you go inside the normal command prompt, notice when I open up standard command prompt and I type in C# compiler, it says C# compiler is not a recognized command. And so I'm going to set up the regular old command prompt to recognize the C# compiler no matter what directory we're in. The way that we're going to do that is you have to modify what's known as the path. And the path is all the different directories on your computer separated by semicolons. These are all different directories separated by semicolons that your command prompt will look for a command on your computer. So if I type in C# CSC and hit that, it's looking in all these different directories for the C# compiler executable. Doesn't find it. So what we have to do is we have to find that on our computer and tell the command prompt to look there. We have to update the path to include another directory. I went ahead and did a search prior to this video for the C# compiler.exe, and I got a directory here that I've already clicked on. It's in the Windows Microsoft.NET framework, and then you're going to see a bunch of different version numbers. So I can demonstrate that. If I go to this directory, I'm just going to go to the root here. If I cd Windows, cd Microsoft.NET, cd framework, and I hit dir, you could see the different versions of .NET framework that are currently installed on my computer. It goes up to 4.0. Of course, there is a newer 4.5. If I wanted that, I'd have to run Windows updates. So I'm just going to change into my latest directory, version 4. I'm going to hit tab, and it'll type in the rest for me. Okay, now if I hit C# compiler, it's a recognized command in this directory. However, if you notice, I go up a directory, it's not a recognized command because that command does not exist in that directory. So if I change back into my version 4 directory, if I hit dir, a lot of files in there, I can actually scroll up and find the C# compiler.exe. So I can see that command right there. So what I have to do, I need to update my path to include that directory. Let me go ahead and clear the screen. So this is the directory. I'm going to go ahead and copy this directory. I'm going to highlight it. I don't need the arrow bracket there, angle bracket. Just by highlighting it and then clicking the right mouse button, that's going to perform a copy. And to update the path, what I need to do is go into my computer, right click this PC, go to Properties, Advanced System Settings, and here's what's called Environment Variables. This is where we're going to find the path. So click on Environment Variables. Here's our path. Go ahead and click Edit. You see all the different directories that we were talking about. Let's add a new directory. Paste. In that directory, you see all the other ones, they end with a backslash. So since this is a directory, I'm going to end that with a backslash there. So I added in the backslash. Click OK. Click OK. Click OK. Close. I want to make sure now to close my command prompt and reopen it. I'm going to close the developer command prompt as well. CMD, go to the normal command prompt. Now when I type in CSC at any directory, it is a recognized command. So now that is working, and if I type in path, somewhere in there, where is it at? Maybe right there, .NET Framework 4.0, found it. Okay, you can see that my path is now updated to include the directory for the C# compiler. So that's the first step before you even write a C# program. If you want to use the normal command prompt instead of the developer command prompt, I do that just because it's habit. It's a whole, it's a habit for me to go to search and just type in CMD enter, and I'm in my normal command prompt. I've been doing that for years, so just kind of habit for me. So go ahead and update the path, and that'll be on your way. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to write a very basic program at or in Notepad, or in my case I'll just use Notepad++, and we're going to write a very basic C# program. So the very first thing that I will do, well, I guess I'll type a little bit before I just save the file. So right now it's just called new1. We haven't saved it yet. I'm going to have a using statement. And when we say using static system.console, it's going to import the console class for us so that we can simply say WriteLine to print out a message. So that using statement is going to make what we type later a little bit easier. We'll go ahead and create a class called hello. And we need the main method. And the main method is going to be where the program begins, where it starts running. So this is the method where everything starts. And I'm just going to type in write line hello world. As most any computer science language that you learn, the first program that you should write is a hello world program. It's just been going on for long before my time. It's just kind of a practice, right? So the class is called hello. The output will simply say hello world with an exclamation point. Now it's really important when you do a save, file save as. It's really important to save your file name as the class name. So notice our class is hello with a capital H. Of course, this is case sensitive, so I'm going to say hello.cs. I'm going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to click save. Again, the name is critical. If you don't save it by the name of the class, caps sensitive, case sensitive, it will not work. So save that appropriately. Save it. Hello.cs. Minimize that there. Minimize that there. You see we now have a C# file. If I were to double click that, it would open up in Visual Studio, but we're not doing a Visual Studio example at this point. We're just doing command prompts. Now I'm going to change the directory on my command prompt to the desktop. If I type in dir, you can see my C# file. I don't need to paste, my mistake. And let's compile that. So csc hello.cs, and we have an error, which is expected. So coming back here, I believe the error that I'm experiencing is because I don't have my version of .NET completely updated. Therefore, this using static is not supported. This is a newer way of importing a static class instead of just importing a namespace. And so I'm going to actually change this a little bit. I'm just going to say using system because this is how I'm actually used to doing it. And then I will go ahead and say console.writeLine. Again, I just don't think that my version of .NET was completely updated at this point. So you can see I made a change in the class. Now it's console.writeLine hello world. Now make sure to save it. I used a hotkey to save it. Come back to my desktop, compile, and it worked. Let me go ahead and delete those files there. What part of the tutorial? Now I should be able to click and open this up. You see it flashes. It actually runs, but it runs so fast and then it just closes right away. There is a way to fix that, and that way is to add a console.readline. So if I add a console.readline, that's the simplest way of getting the console to stay open until you hit enter. So let's go ahead and close that. Close my command prompt, so let me go ahead and open that back up. Change directory to my desktop, compile it. Again, because anytime you change your source code, you have to recompile the intermediate code, and then it will regenerate the executable, hello. Go ahead and run that. Now you can see it says hello world, and it's waiting for my input. I accidentally just pasted there. So I was waiting for my input. When I hit enter, then the window closes. So that's the basics of working with the command prompt. That's how to save your file. That's how to run your files. That's the basics. The next thing I will demonstrate is Visual Studio and how to write a basic program in Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and open up Visual Studio. If you haven't downloaded it already, go online. Visual Studio 2015 is our current edition. Download Visual Studio 2015, and we're looking at the Community Edition. So go ahead and download that, install it. After that, open it up. And we wait. Okay, you can see I've done some other projects over here under recent activity. Okay, now to start a command prompt program, we're going to start from File, New, Project, and under Windows, we're going to select a console application. Now, if you want a GUI application, you'd click Windows Form, but since we're just doing a console application in Visual Studio, notice here we have a solution name and a name of the project. So I'm going to change the solution name. This will be Chapter 1. So we're going to make one solution for every chapter. This is going to be Solution 1, and then we'll have multiple projects within a solution. So we might have a project for each one of our labs, and I'll just name this project Hello World. I have this extra button down here for a Git repository. I'll cover that in a later video. I'm not going to do that for now. And let's go ahead and make sure to create a directory for the solution. That's good. Let's click OK. And you can see pretty simple here. Let's see, Web Essentials. Let's do that later. And at this point, we're already using system. We can do a console.writeLine. Notice the IntelliSense, that'll help us write code. Hello world. Hello world from Visual Studio. You notice it was giving us a compiler error when we didn't have our quotations closed. Giving us a little error message that would tell us it's missing a parenthesis. However, it just didn't see the parens because we were missing the quote. So then from there, off the debug menu, you can start debugging or start without debugging. Let's see if we just press F5, start debugging. Wait for it here a second. You can see it does that old pop the window up and then close it right away. If I start without debugging, it actually keeps the window up. So hello world from Visual Studio, press any key to continue. So control F5, if you don't want to put the read line, you could do control F5, I'll do the hotkey here. Control F5, and that'll get the window to stay up without doing a console.readline. So let's say I want to do another. So you probably haven't seen the Solution Explorer. You can see our solution is called Chapter 1. This is our first project inside of that solution. To create another project inside of that solution, you just right-click the solution and add a new project. And we'll do a console application. We'll just call this My Info. And here you could see that we have two projects inside of one solution. So again, the solution will be for each chapter. Each chapter you'll create a new solution. And now we have two projects. You notice one project is bold. That's the startup project. If you change it, right-click the other project and set as startup. There's also a setting in Visual Studio. I might have to dig for it a little bit to just change your startup project on click instead of having to right-click and change a startup project manually. As soon as you were to click on the new project, it would automatically set as startup. But let's go into the program.cs from there, and I'll do a console.writeLine. Put my name, put my office phone number. Since this is going online, I'm going to make it up. If it is a made-up number, don't call it. I don't know who it'll be. And if I control F5, you could see the output. Now I can even, I can go into Hello World, double-click its program.cs, can hit control F5. It's still gonna run my info because it's set to the startup. I will show in the later video how to change the startup automatically. Again, it's in properties. I just have to dig for it. I'll find it and I will let you all know. Thanks for watching and have a good day.